You know what, you guys want to see a 270 move game? It's probably the greatest game I've ever played. Just kidding. It's a good game. I wouldn't say it's great, but it let me, okay, here we go. White would be Rybka, black would be Nakamura. So here we go. All right, so here's the game. Okay, this is the game I played against Rybka, and I believe it was like the Stone Age. Was in, oh, it was 2008. It wasn't actually that long ago, but yeah, it was a legendary game. So the game went G4. Obviously, Rybka likes the Grob. D5, H3. I played H5, G5, G6. Again, trying to get the pawn structure. Maybe get a connect 3 going both ways. F7 to D5 and to H5. D4, I played bishop G7. Rybka played knight C3. So here I played C6. Knight F3 was played. I played bishop F5. So here Rybka played knight H4. I played E6. And now Rybka played knight F5. So you'll notice here, this is not the classic. Like when I say you want the connect 4 type structure, this isn't classic. But you'll notice I've got nice pawn clumps here everywhere. I've got a connect 3 here. I've got a connect 3 here. White can't play E4. We've already got some blockage here on the king side with like H4, F4 ideas. Unless White goes F3, E4, it's going to be, which is going to be hard to get. Then this is going to be okay for Black. So here Rybka played bishop F4. Played knight E7. Rybka played E3. I castled. Queen D2, knight D7. Again, without getting a break on E4, C4 here, Black should be fine. Here Rybka castled. Now if I was playing a human here, I would be a man. I would just go B5, knight B6, knight C4 and just crush a human. But I'm playing a computer, and of course as a human you have to be realistic and know that if you try to attack a computer, it's going to calculate perfectly and you're going to get smoked and just lose like a clown. So that's why I played rook E8. Rybka played bishop G2. Yeah, be a man, play B5, knight B6. Yeah, except the problem is when you do that against a computer, it goes F3, E4. Are we still analyzing AlphaZero games? Yes, we will be. I'm just giving an example of the Pac-Man effect here because it's a very legendary game and it illustrates the point pretty well. So here I played knight F8. Now you'll notice though that what I'm referring to by the Pac-Man effect, I don't even know if that's correctly what it's called, is that this was a problem with the algorithm and the contempt factors that all the engines were set to. And I believe that after I won this game, or shortly thereafter, the following version of Rybka, they actually changed it. So bishop E5 was played. I played knight E6. Again, logical move, hit the pawn, maybe trade the bishops. And now Rybka played the dream move. It played F4. So this is the dream. When a computer plays like this and you get this locked structure, it's a dream. It's really a dream, because now there's no break in the center, and eventually you already know you're going to end up with a clogged position here. Everything's sort of cluttered here in the center and getting clogged. So here I played knight C8 to develop the knight to D6, king B1, knight D6, bishop F1, queen D7. Next couple of moves don't need explanation, just like sitting around. Okay, so I played B5. So here I'm really trying again to get it to clog it up again, so we can get this position where everything is just completely shut on both sides of the board. So rook E7, just keep shuffling, shuffle it up. So here I got it to play A5. Now the goal is to go knight B7, queen D8, force it to play B4 to support the pawn. So you keep going. Now B4 comes, and now you notice White has no pawn breaks. So this is where the Pac-Man effect starts to come into play. So you'll see we traded pieces. I obviously don't want to take because then he can take. I mean, it's still fine for Black, but now there are actually some issues here. Maybe queen C3. These pawns can be weak, so I didn't want to trade, so I keep going. It played C3, important move. No threats on the C file anymore. You got C6, so keep shuffling. So I'll just keep making the moves. So this is where contempt. So you'll see this obviously draw. Everything is completely shut, but now I intentionally blundered exchange here. So I intentionally blunder an exchange. So this is step one. So this is where contempt comes into play, in that so now the computer has won a rook for a knight. Okay, contempt. This is the contempt factor, 100th of a pawn, whatever the exact measure of it is, I'm not sure. So anyway, we keep going. So I think I wasted another 50 moves. Just keep la 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 la. So just keep shuffling, shuffle it up until we get to like move 40, blah 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 la 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 la. So now step two. So now you'll see step two is here, where where I sack an exchange. So you see, I've sacked one exchange, and now I sack a second exchange. And the point is that in this position, contempt comes into play. So so you'll see white now has 2 rooks for a bishop and a knight. Now, obviously, the position is completely fine. So the position is completely fine for white, but black can put a knight on f5, and you're still never going to be able to win. c4 is not a legitimate break that I can take, but white has 2 rooks for bishop and knight, so white has 10 points versus 6 points. And because of the contempt factor, the computer still thinks it's better by like it's +1 or +2, which is why it actually loses its mind. And I knew at the time it would, and it goes c4. So we go la 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 la. Actually, what I do here though is now you see, I was worried in this position. So if I put the knight on f5, it can always play c4. But you think, you know, if you trade the queens off, here, the odds of it playing c4 become much higher, much more astronomical. So rook h3 is played. I go king e6. So we just keep shuffling the moves. Basically, I just keep going all over the place. Just keep la 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 ba 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 ba. So just keep going, 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 keep going. And so now you'll see what happens is, so here, I think this is move 173, so I think next move is move 50, and at move 150, the computer is, or not 50, 50th move, the computer is obviously going to, I will be going back to Alpha Zero Games Magicel. I'm just showing, someone brought up the Pac-Man effect, and I think that's what they were referring to with this game, so I'm just showing the 2 weaknesses, which are the Pac-Man effect and the Horizon effect. So basically, well, but again, you guys, why would a computer take a draw? Think about it. It's got 2 rooks. I've got a bishop and a knight. I mean, a bishop and a knight are not as good as 2 rooks here. So, so here the computer thinks, well, I can just play c4. It's only a pawn, and you can, and it's completely fine. But now the other problem is the Horizon effect comes into, effect. But overvaluing material and contempt, I thought it was the contempt factor and where it was set on these old versions that led to this bug in the programming, if you want to call it that. So you'll see, so like what happens here, it plays c4, but now the Horizon effect comes into play, because now I realize when I take, I'm going to be able to bring the knight around the king here, and there's no way white's going to be able to protect all of these pawns on d4, e3, f4, b4, and a5, and the computer cannot calculate the Horizon effect here to where you're going to be winning materials. So king b2, bishop d6, king a3, knight e7. Obviously, you want to put the knight here. Hits all the pawns very nicely. So Twitch user says the Pac-Man effect does not apply to AlphaZero and other neural networks. They do not have a principle like contempt anymore because they are self-learned. Well, that just sucks, frankly. But it's not shocking. I mean, I think Rybka even they fixed this error in the following version of the program after after I exploited this bug. They fixed it. So knight e7, rook b2, knight d5. So you'll notice. Thank you, Sistroft, for subscribing to Twitch Prime. So you'll notice here the computer starts to realize it's actually in a world of hurt. There are going to be some Zwissenchugs coming up here, or Zugzwangs, I should say. So king b2. I take the pawn, you'll see, and now you'll see this is a dream. So I've got the king here, no f5 break. I've got like 4 pawns going all the way up the board. Rooks are still bad. This knight is a golden goose on d5. Still hits all the pawns, and so the rest of the game really doesn't need explanation. So I'll just show you guys the moves. Obviously, you just want to push all the pawns up the board. Or whoops, sorry. Whoops, what was that? So sorry. All right, so sorry. So let me just keep going. Sorry about that. So yeah, so here you just push the pawns all the way up the board. Obviously, c3, b3, a2. Here we go. Obviously, take, everything collapses. And now we're in the special zone where everything just comes up the board. 1 bishop, 2 bishops, 3 bishops, 4 bishops, 5 bishops, or knights, and everything. Okay, so now I decide I'm just going to make another bishop, so 6 bishops to mate with, and just like kind of shuffling all over the place. And here we go. And now eventually reach this position. And there we go. Bishop c6 is checkmate. Was this an exercise? No, it wasn't. But I just thought I would show you guys how this game went. So this was a game that I won in 2008. So this was sort of the Pac-Man effect. Now, as everyone has now said, this has been obviously they fixed this error so it doesn't occur. But this was back in the good old days when it still worked. So this was my win against Rybka. So let's let me go back to 1 second, you guys.
Oh, he won on time!
She was on a winning position for her.
I wanted it so bad and he did it.
Now take the room! Now take the room!
What a move!